Hello, Atul. Good afternoon.
Yes, Sandesh, very good afternoon.
Well, we'll just wait for a minute more. There are participants joining now. We'll start at sharp 3:30.
Okay. Yeah, I can see a few people getting added every minute.
Wonderful. Okay, so fine. I think it's time to start. Uh, so, hello, participants. Uh, Atul and I, Sandesh, welcome you on behalf of Silotech for today's interaction on accounts payable, the hidden treasure. Treasure is something which everybody tries to explore, right? You, me, everyone. The important thing is we need a very strong conviction to discover the treasure. We need a perseverance to go behind it. And we have to show a very important thing, and that is a courage to change status quo. And on top of it, what we need is very simple. We have to put in some hard efforts. We have to fold our sleeves. We have to lead our team from the front. And that's how we can discover treasure. One important thing, since you're attending this session, you're participating in this session, you are the one who is going to lead that discovery for your organizations. I'm very much confident about it. This next 30 minutes will be, we are talking about accounts payable function, the hidden treasure. And before we start for the subject, a quick introduction without taking much of your time, as most of the guys in the industry knows Salotech as such. Just to frame in one single sentence, Salotech believes in assuring sustainable growth of its customers through innovative and aptly crafted IT solutions. You are requested to go to our site www.salotech.com to get more information about our value propositions. Atul and I are your guests, are your hosts today for this session. We are having niche expertise in ensuring that IT solutions serves the business purpose and adds value to the business. We have spent our 2 decades of finance and accounts exposure with few of the multinational companies in past, and we led change management for them. With this, we are moving into today's topic, accounts payable, the hidden treasure. What we are going to do in next 25 minutes is now why accounts payable is always considered as a list priority. Why the valuation is not properly placed on accounts payable function. And what are the potentials in this particular function? What value we can unlock from this function? These are, and so moving into the topic. So first and foremost, we have to address why. Why we think accounts payable has some potential and why we are currently managing our accounts payable function in a particular frame of mind. What you are seeing on your screen now is certain notions. Those notions are nothing but our own excuses not to go an extra mile when it comes to accounts payable function. We have to really dwell on this particular thing. What excuses we give to ourselves? Why vendor is the last priority item? Why we wait till the due date to convey back to our vendor? There are some errors in your invoice. Why we show an attitude and arrogance to the vendor that we pay your salaries, right? This is a very important thing because since ages, what have been talked about, what have been considered is the customer is the king. Yes, it is right. Very few path breakers have said that employee first. That is also right. Now the time has come to realize that vendors are your partners in your business and your partner in their business. And no wise man will like to lose money on either end of it, right? With this, we are getting into now what kind of potentials we can have, what benefits we may get. This is going to address why we should do that. So what value propositions? So when it comes to a treasure, it starts with a small coins into it. So earning discount, yes. Earning discount is a very important aspect which we can leverage very well with accounts payable function coupled with technology in place. In today's world, what is happening is it's becoming competitive day by day. You have to be cost conscious. You have to be quality conscious. You have to ensure that your end customers are happy. To make that thing, one important element which is there is how your own ecosystem around sourcing of your material, delivering your services, or the projects to say, how it is embedded. In that case, a platform, which is again a technological aspect, which I will discuss in detail in the next few slides, helps you to benchmark, to select the right vendor for right project or right customer. That is possible when you have a data. Data is going to be the key factor. Data over a period of time is going to give an immense benefit. And that is what you will not get in traditional way of managing accounts payable function. Now, why? Why you should aim to become a preferred customer of your vendor? Can you see any benefits? Or do you think it's something which is a not so likely thing to do? It's equally important to be a preferred customer of your vendor for simple reasons. If you have been, if you create a goodwill with your vendor is going to stand for you whenever you need. So your turnaround time, when you're going through a particular trouble, someone is there with you to go for an extra mile. And that's where you should always aim be a preferred customers. It's a win-win situation for both the parties. And will narrate you. A platformation will help you in a great way to create that collaborative team. It will not only give you preferential rates, credit period, delivery on time, quick start, what you are seeing it over there. Most important thing is the goodwill, what we have to create. Because vendors are also the stakeholders of our business in a way. Of course, the benefit of doing a diagnostic and a detailed study about the accounts payable function ultimately will lead to a lean team because there is going to be a technology in play, there's going to be a revised processes in play. That's going to happen. However, now it is the time when we are seeing the changes are happening so fast that we have to depend on processes and technology, and people may start playing a little bit lesser role in repetitive tasks. The simple benefits, you can have more effectiveness, efficiency, in your invoice processing. We'll dwell more upon it in our few sessions.
Yeah, hi, Sandesh.
Hi, Atul.
One of the participant has a valid question.
Yeah.
Okay, since you have raised, you are talking about value discovery.
Mhm.
He has asked whether there will be any cost saving as well.
Yes, definitely. Cost saving is the primary objective to do this thing. And if we just roughly compare about it, the traditional way accounts department function, if it is going to cost you, let's say, hypothetically $10, then if you go for a semi-automation, it may cost you, let's say, $5. And if you go for a full-fledged automation with platformation, it may cost you $2. So there's a tremendous saving on a perpetual basis.
Okay,
So
I
can I
hope
move to the
we have answered the question of the participant. Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Thank you. So I'm just moving to the, for all the participants, please be free to drop your questions. It's an interactive session, so we encourage you to drop your thoughts. Now, we have seen now why, where. Now, how to unlock that value? In today's thing, if you notice any of the news media, any of the social media, everybody talks about the big data, everybody talks about the data, everybody talks about cloud, right? Yes, and that's true. Having a digitization in your organization, having a platform for accounts payable function or any other function for that matter, we have covered about the how to improve cash accounting in our earlier sessions. It's very important that you need a platformation. Now, just theoretically speaking, apart from this, better invoices, hassle-free invoice submission, and everything, there are two ways by which you can create a platformation. One, are you looking out for a vendor management or are you looking out for vendor enablement? Normally, what we have discovered, okay, yeah, yes, sorry about the disturbance. Is something. Atul, is it? Are you getting any noise from my side?
No, no, Sandesh. There is no noise from your side. There is
Okay, wonderful.
one more question that has come up.
Yeah.
What is the rough estimate of non-digital versus the electronic invoices right now in the market? When
So
I say,
right. So earlier, from the beginning of the, let's say 2019 or so, the study indicated that it was roughly around 45 to 50% is non-digital. In the COVID-19, it has gone through roughly around, let's say, near to 60, 55 plus 60 kind of range, which is there. Sorry for the disturbance. Coming back to our platformation, here the vendor management and vendor enablement is something which is very important. In vendor management or the monitoring, in this piece of the portion, what you are doing is you are ensuring that there is a complete visibility, there's a complete transparency or the complete flow is visible to your internal team. So they can see bills coming in, they can see about how invoices being processed, what is the dispute being raised and everything. But it is limited to your internal team. So vendor, when it comes to vendor engagement, it goes a level up. And that level up is you engage your vendor in doing certain tasks which your team is doing. You encourage your vendor to have visibility in your system so that there will be less conversation coming from their side, which can be avoided. So rather than communicating through emails, telephones, etc., everything is visible on a particular platform. So that is one. So that is a vendor engagement module. In that, and this is what we normally prefer. The journey what we are seeing for a few of our customers is They go with the vendor management, and then they go to the next level, which is vendor engagement. That is the natural progress what we have seen. Now, coming to the automation in invoice processing, the reasons are very simple. Why we need a technology to do that? Because day by day, as rightly asked by someone just before the, on the earlier point, that are we seeing any change in the mode of invoice submission? Yes, the change has happened. So now one thing is that there are very less invoices which are handwritten. Everything is printed. First thing. Second thing which has happened is yes, emails are coming. That is one. Third thing which is happening, like few countries like India, just to quote an example, that e-invoicing which is happening, there are a few countries who have actually gone ahead with a complete digital e-invoice. So on that thing, you really do not need a person to process that invoice. So it can be done end to end in a digital way. Of course, payment goes hand in hand. It ensures there is no duplication in the payment. Rework has been curtailed to a great extent. Going ahead, we can have this cross-fitting of payment advices, vendor reconciliation, where you do not need any person to look into that huge set of data. It can be set in a rule-based approach. So rules is going to take care of entire processes, and you will be notified appropriately.
Yeah, hi
Now,
Sandesh.
yes.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt. There is a few questions that have come up. I will just enable them. One is,
Okay.
what is the invoice processing time in manual environment? Do you have any indication from your market survey? And the second question is, any feedback that you are getting from the finance leader about the future?
Okay. So it's a very important question, and right. So generally, the various surveys being conducted by various organizations, it roughly indicates that
I think Sandesh,
around
there a lot of
15 to
background sound is coming.
just give me a minute. Yeah, sorry about it. There was some call. Okay.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah.
So around 15 to 17 days is something what we experience as the normal traditional way of doing the accounts payable function, excluding payment, because
Excluding payment,
payment
that's
is
very important.
again a due date basis. So that is not been conducted in those various studies. It involves complete receipt of invoices, uh, then entry, then approvals, three-way, two-way matching. And if you go for the automation or the digitization, you can see the tremendous benefit of getting all these activities done at a very quick amount of time. Rather, you will not even realize that all these processes have already been taken care of.
Okay.
I hope I have answered the one question. Can you please repeat the second question, please?
What is the normal feedback we are getting from the CFO or the finance leader about their thought process regarding automation and all what to think?
Okay, so now as we interact continuously with various industry leaders as such, and we do monitor certain surveys being conducted, now shift is happening very fast. So people are now actually taking decisions very quickly, and they encourage to go to digitization and automation. Was around early 50s. Now I will say it is now tilted to 75% of the interactions goes very positive when it comes to automation and digitization, and 25% remaining guys do agree about the same. However, the budget may be one of the reason which they normally, which is the genuine one from their industry perspective, is the holding them back.
Okay.
So can we move to the next slide?
Yeah, so the trend is very positive. People are quite interested in the automation process, and since it leads to a lot of saving, what I stated earlier, and we hope in the future, due to COVID, the trend is going to further increase.
Right. Yeah, thank you. So now, to make it very simple, this is what generally an accounts payable function will have all across any industry, any company. These few things are will be always there. Currently, few may be doing it manually, few are doing it through automation, few are ready to get it automated. So there are multiple invoice sources, which you can see on the left hand side, print formats, email, like that. The important aspect is, what has changed recently is, data capture and verification. The data capture and verification is an important thing which actually helps you to get that complete invoice in whatever form you have received into a digital form. Just to quote on the same thing, we are having our own image processing solution, intelligent image processing solution, which is already being deployed at few places. So that is one aspect. And the other thing is always an ERP or the common thing which is there. And the beauty of the success is how we integrate, how interfaces are built. And that is where it's a very important key element for success in any automation or the digital platform. On the right hand side, what we are seeing is uh, what other things will be there, which is a form of normal ERP environment. Uh, Two-way, three-way matching, creation of the invoice into the system, like that. Other thing which is catching very extensively is the extreme right hand side. What you're seeing is what is happening outside ERP. So many a times, due to the licensing issues or due to certain constraints, uh, we need a system which is cost effective without breaching any of the set norms and the nomenclature. So can we create something like a proactive measure which will give triggers to us, which will have more dependency when it comes to a longer period data storage and everything? Yes. So that is already in place. Just to sum up quickly on this side, intelligent image capturing is something which is very critical thing. Uh, Solid interfaces integrations carries a lot of value, and dashboarding, proactive alerts are game changers. This is what you're seeing now is nothing but you can correlate whatever we discussed so far, certain pointers, certain elements which are there in a pictorial way, what we have seen in the earlier file. And this is how you can see it as a seamlessly we can do it. So in no place we are going to do something which is not been cross-footed or something which is not been interfaced. Human intervention is absolutely nil. Human intervention is there where we have craft out some things as a specialist to play a role, for example, where there are exceptions, which machine may not be solving today. You may need a human eye to do that. However, since there's an artificial intelligence and machine learning, which is already embedded in our solutions, over a period of time, there is going to be a absolute process-driven, technology-driven kind of platform for you. And that's where you really don't have to bother about at what hour in the midnight or early morning, what process is happening, because it's going to be 24/7. right? So from this particularly for the global companies where we are giving our solution, irrespective of their time zone, irrespective of their holiday schedule or everything, it's 24 by 7 when it comes to the accounts payable function. Uh, now, we, now we are landing up on a very important thing which I just mentioned about the dashboards and how they are going to be a game changer, how currently CFOs are banking on those dashboard. And with that, I will hand it over to Atul. And before I hand it over, do we have any other question for the slide? Or
No, at present we don't have any further
wonderful,
questions.
wonderful. So I will just hand it over to Atul to take this synergy through dashboards. Yeah, Atul.
Yeah, thanks, Sandesh, for giving a valuable insight. So, what you have discussed so far and enriched the audience. We now used to present a live case study for one of our manufacturing client who has used the AP automation solution, including the image processing, which is far more advanced in terms of technology, and how the solution has brought the value proposition to the client in terms of saving in times for the processing of the invoice, bringing accuracy in terms of error free or say reduced terms of invoicing from the clients, resulting a lot of saving in terms of frauds or errors for the invoice. So just to run through the graph, what we have over here, the graph on the left hand side on the top shows the when the client started and when we started the image processing, and over a period of time when more and more invoices were being processed, the success ratio means the accuracy with which the invoice were being processed has been gradually increased over a period of time, and you can see now the accuracy of the image processing of the invoice is more than 90%. That is what we have achieved over a period of time to bring a lot of accuracy to the process, which in turn leads to less error and a value saving to the client. And to take it forward, the second graph towards the right, it is in accordance with what Sandesh said earlier about the processing time it has taken when the client had the processing. So you can see roughly around 16, 17 days where we started. And as and when the clients and the team along with the clients, the people in the clients accepted the solution and started using the solution in a better way, the processing time reduced gradually from 16 days to around 6 days, and we expect further improvement over a period of time. It's not only about the client, it vendors and the supplier whom the client served. And since the vendor also saw the benefit in the solution, earlier, one of the reasons for which the processing time was taking a lot higher was due to the non-PO invoices. And once the vendors saw the benefit, you can see the PO-based invoice, which was earlier roughly around 10-20%, has now moved up to around 85%. So that is the what the supplier, who is our business partner, will also see the benefit when they see that the invoices are processed in time, payments is being made, errors are not there. So it is a both win-win situation for the client and the vendor in terms of accuracy, in terms of more PO being more invoices being PO based, resulting in a better and a better automation. The graph towards the bottom left is again what Sandesh shows, what Sandesh stated about the solution using artificial intelligence and machine learning. The extreme right of the graph shows a gray icon, which the artificial intelligence predict, okay, even going forward, the processing time which we are taking right now around 6 days is going to further go down by 4 and 3 days, and it will be about the industry expectation over a period of time. So the graph overshows how artificial intelligence and machine learning is also helping to predict how the things are going to move forward, and it is very much encouraging to see. The bottom right graph uh, shows the success and the non-success. Sorry, invoices that are received by way of email or print or scanning. So initially, when the solution was there, it was more of a print invoice coming through couriers and then lot of time getting processed to do those. But gradually, as we said earlier, the vendors started seeing the benefit and more invoice coming through the emails, and that in turns help in better image processing, which is leading to now more and more invoices are coming to the scanned, I would say, image processing, which in turn leads to better automation, better integration with the ERP, since the has a feature by itself which allows automate integration with the ERP system. So it can be seen from the graph almost 90% of the invoices are now getting from the scanned source. So in short, if we look at all the together, if I'm a client as a CFO, or it clearly shows there's a lot of efficiency that has brought system, resulting in better service to our business partner or client, and bringing more accuracy to the client itself because errors are getting reduced. Scanning helps to reduce errors, reduce frauds, and also brings all the client at par because everything is brought into the system into a structured environment, which Oracle to bring better efficiency and effectiveness into the system. So this was a live case study what we presented with we thought to bring to on table to see what is the value we have brought to the client. Yes, there's any thought process on that?
Right, I think yes, it's absolutely right, and I think someone is echoing your thoughts as such. Right, so this dashboards, the participant is claiming that yes, now that is going to be a trend that gradually everybody is moving towards dashboarding. And one important element which we'd like to quote over here is that in this entire digital transformation, many a times on a rule base we are setting something which takes care of it. Gradually, with the artificial intelligence and machine learning, what's happening is the exceptions are also getting addressed. So that is how, when you think from like 3 to 5 years kind of a blueprint for any organization, uh, it's absolutely adding value to the entire ballgame. Atul, you want to say something more on the
No, I
dashboards
think
or?
it's fine. I think we have
Okay,
explained the case.
wonderful. That is nice. And since we are now nearing towards end of our session, seeing is believing, and
Right.
we firmly believe that. So we do encourage you to visit our site www.silotech.com. You can register any query, or you can book the session for image processing. You can book a session for complete vendor management portal. We would like to demonstrate that thing, irrespective of any ERP, whatever you are having. We are extremely good in the ERP interfaces too, and we can demonstrate from image processing to ERP vendor management for complete a 360-degree transaction processing. So please do visit our site and keep tune yourself to Salotech on our various social media events. Our objective for these social media events are to share certain thoughts, share certain ideas. We encourage you to live into the future, dare to change the status quo, and we assure you we are always there with you when it comes to innovative IT solutions. With this, we are ending our session. Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Atul.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thanks, Sandesh. Thanks for the presentation. Thank you very much. Thanks for sharing the knowledge. Thank you.